Good morning. Everybody survived Thanksgiving? Yeah, we did too. We had a great Thanksgiving here, and gosh, worked out great. Lovely, good food. Got to take some home. That's always a good thing. So, we had, fortunately, we have known that this was going to happen sooner or later because we have old heating systems in both buildings, and sure enough, this one has all of a sudden going to cost us, well, it's close to $3,000 just to fix it, and we didn't know what else was wrong with it, so we decided to take the plunge and replace this one for about $8,000. So that hurt a little bit, but fortunately we've been known about it for quite some time, so there we go. It still hurts to write checks like that, though. So we do have a couple patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon, though. And George, no, wait a minute, I don't want to do that one. I want to do George. No, I want to do John. We're going to do John. Yeah, pretty much. It just frequently makes no sense if I do George first. I mean, because some of us I was like, what? What did he do? So John, my role in society, or any artist's or poet's role, is to try and express what we feel, not to tell the people how to feel, not as a preacher, not as a leader, but as reflections of us all. And George, no comment is a comment. Yep. It is. Oh, more sweatshirts, T-shirts, and all that kind of stuff. I prefer not to think before speaking. I like being just as surprised as everyone else is at what comes out of my mouth. And I am so thankful I had a childhood before technology took over. Yeah. Very different. Very different. And true. That's true. Some people are like clouds. When they disappear, it's a beautiful day. So, a new study suggests that drinking beer prolongs your life. Looks like I'm going to be immortal. All right. May 1997. A 32-year-old Phoenix resident, Dale Novak, won the spam carving contest with his creation of a spam castle, appropriately dubbed Spam-A-Lot. Yep. I knew somebody would have to come up with that one, so it was just obvious. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by doubling our joy and dividing our grief. That was nice. The difficulty is not so great to die for a friend as to find a friend worth dying for. The only way to have friends is to be one. Hi, Toby. She's a friend to everybody.
She's getting a dental on Monday, so we need to keep her in our prayers.
Oh.
You're afraid of the dentist?
Okay. Yeah, she's not afraid of the dentist, right? We confess to little faults only to persuade ourselves that we have no great ones. Is it impossible? It is impossible for a man to be cheated by anyone but himself. Ralph Waldo Emerson. And love these Yiddish proverbs. Truth is the safest lie. Hey, you want to talk about stuff, Valerie? Where'd the calendar go? I know there's a calendar here. There it is.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Low.
So this, whoa. Thank you. little hot. Not a whole lot going on this week on the calendar. It looks like Thursday is Intuitive Tarot. That is, an ARE meets. Intuitive Tarot with Janice, it's $20 donation. On the 30th, on the calendar, it says on the 30th there that the December 1st is the holiday gift fair that we're doing. there's a typo on the time. It's open from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. It says 1 to 4 on the calendar, so, but it is correct on the December calendar. So if you have that one, it is correct. It should say 10 to 4. We're going to open the doors at about 8 o'clock so vendors can come in and set up their tables and have plenty of time. If you are one of the vendors, please contact me. You can email me at healinghands999@gmail.com, and then I can give you instructions, or just show up early to set up, and then I'll show you where you're going to be placed when you get here. I have quite a lot of different things that are going to be happening. Sam's going to be here, my son Sam Schmidt. He's going to be here doing his readings. He does this amazing readings that he does with his mat, and so he's going to be here doing that. I'm going to do aura imaging. We have people who have handmade crafts. They have homemade jewelry, and I don't have my list, sorry. There's antique jewelry, there's just all kinds of different, I'm thinking that there's going to be some essential oils, things like that are going to be here. So just a huge variety of all kinds of different things. So come and join us, spread the word, hopefully.
Unique gifts for Christmas.
Very unique gifts for Christmas, yes. And for Sam and I who do a service, we're going to be selling gift certificates, and we'll give you a discount on the prices. And so if you want to give a gift for Christmas, it's the perfect gift. And then they can just schedule at their own leisure. So we look forward to seeing you guys. Spread the word. We have flyers that are on the back table, I think, still, that if you'd like to hand them out or put them at your work or something like that to kind of help us promote it. Cool. So there's that.
And if you see something on Facebook, try to do whatever you do with Facebook.
Share the heck out of it. Mary Ann donated this beautiful basket that's full of different items for pets, a dog and a cat gift package. And so it's got a list here of all the stuff that's in it, which is quite long, so I'm not going to go through it. But starting on December 1st at the gift fair, we're going to start raffling it. It'll be $1 a ticket, and we're going to do that for several weeks, and then just before Christmas, we'll pull the winner for that. Did you want me to do the raffle for this one now?
Sure.
Do we have time? All right, so anybody that bought raffle tickets for this one, we're going to go ahead and pull the name.
As long as it says Nancy or May, you're good.
Just want to make sure I got all the tickets down there. Bill, would you do the honors? It's right in the corner there. The angels will guide him to the right one.
Just make sure I didn't have any tape on it.
I think so.
That's what I thought it said.
Looks like it to me. Nancy, is your number 539-0269? Sorry, we were having a hard time reading the name. No.
N-A-N-C.
Yeah, that's what he said too. He's like, he goes, does that say Nancy? I was like, could be Rachel. No, Ricky. All right, thank you guys.
Yeah. She bought a lot of. Yeah, she does. She never buys just one ticket, so. All right. Why didn't Noah swat those 2 mosquitoes? Why do they sterilize the needles for lethal injection? You know, the indestructible, my goodness, black box that's on airplanes, why don't they make the whole airplanes out of that stuff? So, and why don't sheep shrink when it rains? I don't know. You gotta put them in the dryer? Okay. A man in Topeka, Kansas decided to write a book about churches around the country. He started by flying to New York and started working west from there. Going to a very large church, he began taking photographs and making notes. He spotted a golden telephone on the vestibule wall and was intrigued with the sign that said calls $10,000 a minute. Seeking out the pastor, he asked about the phone and the sign. The pastor answered that the golden phone is, in fact, a direct line to heaven, and if he pays the price, he can talk directly to God. Did anyone feel my eye roll? But anyway, it's just a joke. The man thanked the pastor and continued on his way as he continued to visit churches in Pittsburgh, Ohio, St. Louis, Chicago, Milwaukee. Around the United States, he found more phones with the same sign and the same answer from each pastor. Finally, he arrived in Wyoming. Upon entering St. Raphael's Church in Casper, behold, he saw the usual telephone made of gold, but this time the sign read calls, 35 cents. Fascinated, he talked to the pastor, Reverend, I have been in cities all across the country, and in each church I have found this golden phone and have been told it is a direct line to heaven and that I could talk to God. But in other churches, the cost was $10,000 a minute. Your sign reads 35 cents a call. Why? The pastor smiled benignly, replied, son, you're in Wyoming now. You're in God's country. It's a local call. Cute. All right, another new song today. This one does not have words on the board, just has pictures. But does it have words too? Yeah. Oh, okay. But the nice thing about it, you can understand and hear the words anyway, so you don't need the...
I learned from Phil, but you can't raise this with this though. There it is. Lights, camera, action. Okay, go ahead, Phil. I'm ready. Don't do that. Who'd be willing to read our prayer? Sure. I've got one chosen I'd like you to read, if you would be so kind.
Help me get through today. Help me to do the next right thing. Help me to step up in my own life so that I may be a blessing to myself and others. Help me to be kind to myself and others. Help me to be present in the here and now. Help me to know the lessons from past experiences without living in the past. Help me to have hope for the future without projecting myself out of this moment. Shift me out of autopilot and bring me back fully into my life. Awaken me to joy and peace in this moment, as this moment gently flows into the next moment without my effort or striving. Help me to be. This is Janice Lynch speaking.
May it be so. Copies. We want copies. Okay, I can give you copies. Yes, I wrote that. That's my name is at the bottom. Because I've prayed that prayer a lot. Public service announcement. Public service announcement. And there's a cobweb in that. Okay, so lesson learned. Wipe the megaphone off before you use it. Oh, Lord. So, public service announcement. Somebody in this room or somebody on YouTube needs this. If you are considering suicide, I want you to take a new look at that. If your mind is telling you you're a failure, you're misconstruing the information or the data that you're receiving. It's not telling you you're a failure. What it's telling you is that all of the coping mechanisms you've used till now have failed you. People who are awakening cannot rely on those old habituated patterns anymore. They don't work. So when you become in this space of awakening, I'm really stressed. Can you hear it in my voice? Let me settle into this a little bit. Because I've been there, and I've almost done that. So I'm coming from my heart here. Your mind is telling you, I can't do that anymore. But it's not telling you that you don't have a right to exist anymore. That's a misconception. It's you have distorted the information that you're getting. You're getting accurate information. We're done with this stuff, but you're misconstruing it into thinking that you're worthless. If your emotions tell you you are worthless, you're not good enough, or you're bad, or you should just take yourself out of here, it's not the correct interpretation of that. You're getting feedback from your emotions, and they're telling you that your motivations aren't serving you anymore. Shame and blame won't work with an enlightened mind. Can't. Shame and blame don't motivate you properly. Anger cannot motivate you properly anymore when you become awakened. And you'll struggle with it because that's what worked in the past. Thank God. It helped you be a survivor. But now your time to move on. If your physical form is saying, I can't move forward anymore, I just can't do it anymore, it's because you've fed it crap. You haven't nourished it, you haven't rested it, and you haven't given it joyful activity, and you expect it to function doing all the shame and the blame and all those other coping mechanisms that aren't working anymore, and your body's saying enough. And then your soul pipes up and says, we're done, we're out of here. And your soul is really saying, I want to live. And all the other crap that you're doing to yourself is stifling it. And it wants to live, and it wants to live free. So my message to you, and this is not our message this morning, this is just a public service announcement. My message to you is get help. Your thinking, your feeling, your experiencing is distorted. There's people in this room who have experienced people who have taken themselves out. I guarantee you, they do not think their world is better with that person out of it. I guarantee you. When I was in the throes of it, I thought Phil would be so much better off without me. It was a lie. When I finally mentioned that to him, he said, well, thanks for letting me in on your big decision. My decision was going to influence his life for years to come. There's people in this room who've lost people that they love dearly to suicide. So if you're in that place where you're thinking of that, get help. Your perspective is distorted. It's distorted. There's truth under there. Grab onto that. And that'll give you a chance to really live. Really live. So if you're paying attention to that voice, yes, it's telling you things are not working right, but it's giving you a cue not to take yourself out, but to take out all those things that don't work anymore and try it a different way. Reset yourself and really live. Get help. Done with that.
Thank you, Janice. Very heartfelt.
So, I need something. Got anything stronger back there? I don't know. No, that's a coping mechanism I don't want to use. Water would be good, Phil. Thank you, dear. The title of our message today was Holiday Survival Kit. And I bet you thought you were coming here to get one more thing you could fail at, one more thing you feel guilty about not doing right. Wrong. We don't do it that way here at the Divine Fellowship. It has come to my attention that most of us don't know how to let go of old stuff. And that old stuff, thank you, that old stuff frightens us. Who needs hell? You got it right here, right? It's living right in my lap. So here's the thing. I have a process today. Even though it's not even Healing Sunday, just a bonus. I have a process today that I want to share with you on how to let go. Because it's easy to say, let go and let God. Does anybody else hate that besides me? Yeah. Okay, now I'm a big truster in God, and I'm a real believer in prayer, but that phrase just annoys the heck out of me. And I think it's because, got some laughter here. I think it's because intuitively I feel like I need to replace that hanging on to the old stuff with something new and different. And if I could hang on to something different, whether that's trust or faith or hope or whatever, that being able to hang on to that new thing gives me the ability to let go of the old that doesn't serve me anymore. Make sense? So I want to give us a process to let go. I was talking about letting go with a family member just the other day. And they were telling me, well, I can't just let go. And this is a hand motion that is all about letting go. Just do that for yourself. Just do. How do you feel when you do that? It's like, yeah, just let go. Easy, simple, whatever. Asked about the hand signs for letting go. And the one that really fits for what we're talking about is don't want that. Don't want that. You can push that stuff away from you. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to feel that way anymore. Make sense? You can make a new choice because there's two parts to this. One is letting go and one is grasping the new thing, letting go of the old and grasping onto what will serve you, the joy and hope and love. So what are some things, anybody have a pencil and paper that can take notes for me? Because I didn't bring any up. What's some things that are a struggle that we hang on to? Just generally, I wouldn't say you personally. I know you don't struggle with anything. I'll put one at the top of the list. For me, something that really is hard for me that I struggle with is being around people who are volatile. That really makes me feel unsettled and I'm not sure how to act. And because there's a part of me that wants to fix it, but that part of that's enabling. And part of me wants to just let it go and not do anything. And part of me, that's the other side of the enabling coin, which is ignoring and it doesn't happen. So to walk a path of love and to be that love, it's a struggle for me to find that center of balance where I can love myself and have clear boundaries and to love the other person. So what's another struggle you might have? Or someone, not you personally. Yes, sir.
Someone that just won't find things happy.
Somebody that just can't find happy? Negative people, yep. Allie, you're writing. Can you write and talk at the same time? Yeah. You had one?
Yeah. Other people's opinions.
Other people's opinions. Opinions and expectations. Yeah.
Wanting to be right,
Wanting to be right.
whether it's me or them, getting into that volleyball.
Yeah, wanting to be right, having to battle that out. Yes.
For me, it's resentment for things I know I should have done.
Oh, resentment. I'm doing this for the camera. Resentment for things he knows he should have done. Regrets, all of that sort of thing. Yep. Yep.
Not feeling selfish for taking time for myself.
Feeling selfish. Struggling about letting go of feeling selfish to take time for yourself. Good one. What else? Loss. Loss of pets. Oh gosh, that's one of the hardest. Then there's loved ones. Loss of opportunities. Loss of the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and all of that. Yes, loss is huge. Guilt about things done.
Yeah.
I could have done that differently.
Right.
Okay, I want to speak to that separately right now because this is a big one. If you're having guilt, if you're experiencing guilt, glory, hallelujah. That means you've grown. Because now you would do it differently. If you knew and you would have done it differently then, but you didn't know. You did the best that you could. And now you learn that wasn't as productive for myself or somebody else. That hurt me, that hurt the other person. I would do it differently now. You've grown. So it's the other side of that. That's this whole message that we send to ourselves. If we can take a glory hallelujah to everything, that shifts that and puts it in a different perspective. But thank you for bringing that up because that is a good one on our list. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we feel those experiences in our guts, and sometimes we feel them in our heart space, and sometimes they hit us in the head. True? So our process today is going to clear all those out. Because here's the thing, sometimes they're cumulative. If I don't let go of this, and then something similar happens, then it builds onto that. And then something similar will build on top of that until I have this big, huge bucket of stuff that is just suffering. So the key here is to move beyond that, to clear ourselves from that, release that. Got a couple of things that will help us in releasing. Psalms 46:1. God is our refuge and a very present help in trouble. This is trouble. All the things we're talking about, this suffering, this difficulty, this is trouble. And God is our refuge and our strength. And an ever-present help. A very present help in that. Therefore, we will not fear. Again, perfect love casts out fear. And then down here below that, verse 10. Cease striving and know that I am God. Oh, we forget that there is a divine being, an infinite wisdom that knows how this all is sorting itself out. And knowing our value and knowing that we're not broken, we're not damaged to the point of no return, we're not useless or worthless. We're precious and He delights in us. He, she, we, it, they, whatever your consciousness will allow. That we are a source of delight for all that is. And when we recognize we're a source of delight for all that is, it changes things. That allows us to find peace. We can let go of this struggle. Have you ever picked up a baby? Okay, that baby, yes, you did this morning. That baby doesn't have to do a darn thing, does it? Doesn't have to be smart enough, doesn't have to run fast enough, doesn't have to have computer skills, doesn't have to speak perfectly, doesn't have to say thank you and you're welcome, doesn't have to do anything, just is. That's how God thinks about you. God looks at you and goes, oh, they're so precious, I just love them. And we forget. We think we have to be something else or perfect or without flaw. No, we're just in process. And if we can recognize that all that is looks at us like we're an infant and goes, oh, look, they're so precious. They chose the breath of life, they're here. And even when a child has a poopy pants, we may not like the poopy pants, but that child is still adorable to us, isn't it? Even when you have a poopy life that you've pooped yourself, God still adores you. Oh, look. Let's clean that up. So this is the cleaning up process that we're going to do today. Mark chapter 4, verse 38. So Jesus is in a boat, and there's this terrible storm, and he's asleep. I mean, Jesus has been doing lectures and workshops for days on end, and people are wanting something all the time. So he was taking a nap. There's this terrible storm going on. All of his apostles are terrified, so they wake him up. And he's looking around going, it's just a storm. And he tells the storm, peace be still. And what happens? The storm becomes still. When we think of all of our struggles and our traumas in here, we're in a storm. We're in the middle of the storm and we're afraid. So the same energy that God is our ever-present help in time of trouble, Jesus is there too. So we can utilize this peace be still and grant ourselves peace. And here's the thing. We carry a lot of energy, a lot of trauma, a lot of experiences that we've had. We carry it in our belly. We carry it in our heart space. Got a little feedback on that. And we carry it in our mind. So we're going to release it from our belly, from our heart, and from our mind. But we're also going to release it from, when we do the mind clearing thing, we're going to release it from the whole third eye, discernment centers over the eyebrows. So you're just going to sweep this out. Doesn't that feel wonderful when you do that? Oh, there's so much crud there. You can just sweep that off. And then we're going to grab back here where your occipital lobes are, and you're just going to pull down and out and away. Okay? So we're going to do this in a series of breathing moments. So we're going to start here with the belly. Now, here's the thing. You don't even have to have a specific trauma or specific struggle you're thinking about. Your body knows. There's a body awareness that your body just hangs on to stuff. Your body knows. By giving it permission to be awakened to it, acknowledging that, bringing your attention to that, you empower it to let go. But here's the thing. We don't know how to let go without replacing. So we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to let go. Count to 1, 2, 3, and then peace be still, and bring the peace be still in. How does that feel so far? Does that feel really good? Simple. Simple good. Simple is good in my world. If it's complicated, I can't do it. I'll fail every time. But, it's not about win, lose, or fail. This is about doing what is effective. And we want it to be effective in our own lives. All right, so you have a heartache. You have heartaches in your world? You don't have to even know exactly what heartache you're relating to, because your body knows. Again, your soul knows, your spirit knows. Just being aware and willing to release that is the power of this. So take a deep breath in and let go. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Peace be still, and bring it in. Deep breath in. How does that feel? Just sit with that for a second. A part of me just melted. Anybody else have that experience? Or you just kind of melted away. The last one we're going to do, I want to do these together, but I don't think we're going to be able to do them together, so we'll separate them out. So the next one we're going to do then is the third eye and the discernment centers. So this is whatever okay, let me talk to you before you do this. So you're going to have your hands up here for an hour. This is where we get into those expectations, where we feel somebody else is expecting us to act a certain way and do a certain standard, and if we don't do it, we're failing. Okay? I was expected to make a fruit salad for Thanksgiving dinner for family, and when they called, so are you making your famous fruit salad? I said, no, I'm sorry, I'll miss it too. Oh, they were devastated. Can't have Thanksgiving without a fruit salad. Well, that's an expectation, and it wasn't one I could do. So I just got to be okay with that. And it was like, If I have energy next week, I'll make a fruit salad and take it to them. If I don't have energy next week, maybe the week after. But in the meantime, I'm okay with it because I had a lovely day and I wasn't exhausted by the end of the day. I was fine. Taking care of me, like you said, taking care of yourself is hard work. Taking care of me was more important than somebody else's expectation. And I know I can fulfill that expectation down the road. It's not like this is the only chance I'll ever have fruit salad again. No, unlimited opportunities for that. And you know, I could give them the recipe. They could do it themselves. I'm more likely to bring them over and teach them how.
Okay.
Show them how to do it. This is how it's done. This is how you do grandma's fruit salad. It's been handed down for generations. This is it. So that's one side of the expectations. And the other side of expectations is how we expect other people to be. If I expect another person to be different than who they are, I will be disappointed. I will be frustrated. That person, how could they possibly do that? Well, they're not me. And that may be perfectly okay for them. It's my expectation that everybody should have the same value system that I do, have the same motivation that I do. They don't. They're different. And I can let go of expectations of that. The key is, do I want to? It's so much more fun to be in judgment, isn't it? Well, they did it wrong. This right-wrong thing. And how fun is that? Not. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat what she just said. But it ain't fun. So we can look at all of those expectations that have been put upon us and all the expectations we put upon others and the expectations we put on ourselves. I should have done it different. I could have done it better. All of that crap. We can let that go if you're willing. Now here's the thing. If you're struggling with letting go of that, God is your ever-present help in a time of need. Ask for help with this one. Help me let go of expectations. Just be with that for a second and become willing. Here's the thing with willingness. I don't know if there's any AA people in the room. I think AA people are wonderful. I think it was a lifesaver for me at a time when I needed it most and our family needed it the most. One of the things they talk about is you can pray for willingness. You don't even have to have it. It's a gift. Pray for willingness. So if you're not willing to let go of all those expectations, pray for willingness. Even the prayer of willing to be willing to pray about it is huge. It's huge. It cracks open this rigidity that locks us down and keeps us from really living life and being free. So pray for the willingness to allow yourself to be free. Are we ready now? Okay. Deep breath in and exhale and pull that out of there. 1, 2, 3. Peace, be still. Bring that back in. Deep breath in. And exhale. How does that feel so far? Some of you might want to do that one again. You don't have to do it now, but you might want to do that again. You know who you are. But that's not an expectation. That's only if you're willing. But that's big stuff. There's big stuff that's gotten crammed into our awareness that's there. The occipital lobes carry patterns. And often these patterns are how we identify ourselves. The pattern of having to be right, or the pattern of having to be selfless all the time, no matter what, or the pattern of having to be rigid, the pattern of having to fill in the gaps in a conversation, keep the conversation going, or having to be silent, not speaking at all. a pattern of resistance or a pattern of compliance. All of those are patterns. And sometimes those patterns set us up for a lot of misery in life because they're not really living. We're relying on these old patterns of behavior to keep us safe in an unsafe world. Well, here's the thing. The world is not unsafe. It's terminal. You know, we're not going to make it out of here alive, but at the same time, you get to be in this moment and feel safe. Is there anything that's threatening you right this second? No. So right this second, you can be in this moment of being at peace. You can be in this moment of being free, of being clear. And you don't have to be in this space of walking through old patterns. Oh, I put on a happy face no matter how I feel. That's an old pattern. Doesn't mean you have to put on a frowny face either. But you could be real. Man, I'm struggling today. Okay. See, here's the thing. It leads us to incongruency. And when we're incongruent in our life, people feel that and they'll react to that on an energetic level. If your life is not in alignment with the words coming out of your mouth, if the words coming out of your mouth are not in alignment with who you really are, if the actions that you're doing are not in alignment with how you really feel, you're incongruous. And people will react negatively to that. So some of the nicest, kindest people will get abused. Because underneath that nice kindness, they have not identified the reality of their own strength. So the world sets up opportunities for a person to find their strength over and over and over again. Not to punish you, not to hurt you, but to give you an opportunity to grow. So getting out of these old patterns are powerful. It's a powerful tool. It's wonderful. So what patterns are active in your life right now? Just be aware of that. The dutiful servant, the dutiful spouse, the happy one that always makes everybody happy. What pattern is going on in your life? I'm not saying patterns aren't good. They have value. There's times when autopilot is really important. You know, you can brush your teeth and think about other things at the same time. Autopilot has value. I can brush my teeth and do something else in my brain at the same time. That's autopilot. Autopilot works really well. But to really live, autopilot is killing you. Autopilot is stealing your soul. Take it back. Take it back. Reclaim your freedom. So whatever pattern you feel is happening right now, pattern that you feel like you've got to keep doing because that's what everybody expects of you or thinks you are, you can release that. Are you ready? Let's pray for willingness. Lord, please bring me willingness so that I can let go of old patterns that no longer serve. Are you ready? Deep breath in. And exhale and pull those out and release them. 1, 2, 3. Peace, be still. And now you can be in a place to allow new patterns to emerge, new insights to emerge, new awakenings to happen in your behalf. One last thing. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. It's NCIS Janice Lynch. You got to explore the evidence. If you look at the evidence and the conclusion is something that isn't in alignment with the truth that you hold to be true, look again. There's plenty of evidence in my life that I'm a total screw up and a failure. I'm different than my family. I could use that as evidence of my not being good enough or my being a failure. Or I could look at that as evidence of being able to step out of conformity, or evidence of my uniqueness. What evidence you're looking at is evidence. How you look at it is the key. And what you do with it once you look at it is imperative. So as you're looking at things and you're acknowledging the evidence of what is happening in your world, if it isn't something that serves you, you can let it go effortlessly and easily and reclaim this divine connection that you have with Spirit at all times, and you can reclaim your life of joy and happiness. Oh, Hebrews 11:1. Do you want to go or you want to do communion first? Okay, Mr. Phil, would you help me up front, please? Oh, I'll put that right there. They're heavy. Thanks. Heavy plates. Next time we'll get plastic, right? So communion is a physical manifestation of the connection that we have to Divine Source. If you're a follower of the way, the price has been paid. Drink up, eat up, nourish your spiritual self in whatever way serves you. Got unleavened bread if you like the tradition, animal crackers if you like to honor a Native American pathway, and the cup is gluten-free. So whatever works for you. Would you join us in prayer, please? Loving Spirit of light, we ask that you will shine new light on our perceptions. Bring us clarity, bring us awareness, bring us truth. Help us to discover the beauty of who we really are. Walk with us in all things. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Blessings. As that continues around, would you join us in prayer again, please? Loving Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life, all of it. Help us to find our way to the freedom and the joy, the hope, and the faith that you offer us. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. There it is. Uh-oh, we're going to have warfare. They're fighting. I'm doing it. No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Also remember Amazon Smile for the holidays.
Smile.amazon.com.
Yep.
Cyber Monday tomorrow.
Yep.
Smile.amazon.com.
And
Smile is
pick.
available on the app now too.
Do what?
Smile is available on the app now as well.
Oh, okay.
Amazon app, you don't have to go through the website.
Yeah, no, but you can't, that is not Smile. If you use the app, you can't do Smile.
I have it online.
You have SmileAmazon.com? Okay, well, I'll have to check that, because as far as I know, the Amazon app.
I'm not technically awesome, so if you can find a technically
Let me check right now.
Get back
She's
to me,
checking.
Nancy. Get back to me. But yeah, Smile Amazon. Choose the church. We do get a little bit, and your price is the same no matter what. So, but yeah. So, were you coming up here? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's had a happy Thanksgiving. I had about my umpteenth wonderful Thanksgiving dinner, which I'm so thankful for. And Thanksgiving always brings a lot of childhood memories for me. I had an exalted boyhood in the mountains of East Tennessee, and on Thanksgiving, when I was a boy, my father would take my brother and we'd go hunting. And a 10-year-old boy with a .22 rifle feels all powerful and is very pleasurable. And then we'd come home at about noontime, and my mother would have a big Thanksgiving meal prepared for us. And then the next day, it was all work. My dad always, we had a little hobby farm, and he always raised a couple of pigs every year. And we'd take him up to this farmer's, his name was Laney Hensley, and he'd have these big boiling vats of water there where you could take your hogs, and first thing you did was shoot them and kill them, and then you dipped them in these big boiling water vats, and that's where you stripped the hair off of them. And then Thanksgiving was always cold back in the days before climate change. And of course, to process meat outside, it has to be below 40 degrees, and it was every year. In fact, it was colder than that usually. It usually snowed about that time. But anyway, they'd strip those hogs down and rack them up, and the next morning on Saturday, we would have a fresh sausage. Okay. Anyway, so I have a lot of feelings that I'm thankful for, and you were talking about Psalms 46. And if you read all 150 Psalms, which were written by King David, you will realize that his life was full of troubles. In fact, you think maybe you've got a pretty good life compared to what he had. Even his sons tried to kill him. And all the Psalms are about his troubles, but also about his faith and his thanksgiving for the blessings that he did have. So it's very inspiring to read Psalms, in my opinion. I just read them again and was, again, inspired. Some of the things that caught my attention just this morning in the way of thanks. Nancy handed out these calendars. Did everyone get one? Furry Friends is called, and showed a little cat and a little dog. It just happens I have a dog and a cat. In fact, my dog is in the car outside. But very inspiring to see this type of thing, love between a cat and a dog. That's kind of rare. My cat and dog get along okay, but these are one of the many blessings that this church offers. And, you can get a free pen. Wait a minute. You get a free pen, you can get these little booklets, and I just really appreciate these type of things that this church offers. It offers so much in the way of blessings like that. And I'll look at the calendar we have. Here's the one for December. You've probably got a copy, but every night there's something going on here. And I can't come every night, but I do take about 4 classes here, and I really find them inspiring and helpful for my own spiritual growth. In fact, I know of no church that offers opportunities for spiritual growth like this church does. I go to the ARE.
Because we still have the guy to make.
Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, just want to express my thanks. I offer you the opportunity to express your thanks. The only way you can give thanks really sometimes is just give money. But if you don't have to give money though. You can give lots of other ways. A prayer, just an attitude of gratitude. So thank you for your contribution. These things cost money, and so any contribution that you can make will be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
Mitch.
on Amazon Smile for iPhone, there is no app. I don't know about Android. because I don't have an Android phone. But if you use it enough in Safari, which I do, with my phone, in your Safari, if you don't have anything off right now, it'll show a little app there.
Okay. Because let's say, see when I tap on my app, it's there, it's already on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
But that is-
Android.
That's an Android, yeah. Android may have the app, iPhone does not, but it does provide an app if you use it enough in Safari, which, that's what I do. It's surprising, I even put the $30 in for that painting, you know. It wasn't from Amazon. But at least the $30 went to the church.
Thank you much for that. We have a guest presenter today to do our guided meditation. She's been with us for 7 years, and is really excited to bring to you an opportunity to connect with Spirit through guided meditation. So big welcome for Valerie.
Thank you.